Adventurous kids explore with education and learning what a wild life is in the Everglades. I want to explore the museum of discovering science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West. Adventurous kids, learning and fun. Adventurous kids!
Today I'm going to tell you about Surrealism. Surrealism is a cultural movement that started in 1917 and is best known for its visual artworks and writings. Artists painted unnerving, illogical scenes, sometimes with photographic precision, creating strange creatures from everyday objects and developing painting techniques that allowed the unconscious to express itself. Surrealism means above realism. Surrealism officially began with Dadaist writer André Breton's 1924 Surrealist Manifesto, but the movement formed as early as 1917, inspired by the paintings of Giorgio de Chirico, who captured street locations with a hallucinatory quality. After 1917, de Chirico abandoned that style, but his influence reached the Surrealists through German Dadaist Max Ernst. Ernst moved to Paris in 1922 as the Dada movement ended and was crucial to the beginning of Surrealism, especially because of his collage work at the time. The disorientating illogic of Ernst's colleagues fueled Breton's imagination as he became more entrenched in Sigmund Freud's ideas. Breton and others, including Ernst, experimented with hypnotism as a means to access subconscious creativity, but the group decided the experiments were dangerous. In 1923, painters Joan Moreau and André Masson met and became involved with Breton. Influenced by Freud, Breton had experimented with automatism in writing to create words with no thought or planning. By 1924, Moreau and Masson began their version with pen and ink. In 1925, as a response to automatism, Ernst practiced frottage using cracks in a floorboard as the surface underneath his drawing paper. He adapted the concept to oil painting, spreading pigments on a canvas and then scraping. Ernst's 1927 painting Forest and Dove used this technique. Moreau adapted automatism to the first stage of creation in his paintings. He developed abstract coding as a personal surrealist vocabulary, which he repeated in his works. Moreau was heavily influenced by outsider art, drawings by children, and primitive art. Other painters joined the movement in the 1920s. Yves Tanguy was a writer until the works of de Chirico inspired him to teach himself to paint in 1923. Tanguy specialized in infinity dreamscapes featuring ambitious figures, as in 1927's Mama, Papa is Wounded. Alberto Giacometti was a Swiss sculptor who met Masson in 1928. He was influenced by American and Egyptian art, which he combined with a dreamlike aesthetic to create bizarre, stylized figures. Romanian painter Victor Bronner was introduced to the movement by Tanguy, and by Parisian critics, Bronner was fascinated by the occult. His 1931 painting Self-Portrait with a Plucked Eye gained notoriety after he lost his eye in a fight 7 years later. Here are some famous Surrealism artists. Salvador Dali. Considered by many to be the greatest of the Surrealist painters, Salvador Dali was a Spanish artist who embraced the idea and art of Surrealism. Alberto Giacometti, a French sculptor who was the leading sculptor of the Surrealist movement. He is most known for his Walking Man sculpture, which sold for over $104 million. Paul Klee, a Swiss painter who mixed Surrealism with Expressionism. His most famous paintings include Around the Fish, Red Balloon, and Twittering Machine. Joan Moreau. Joan was a Spanish painter who was known for his Surrealist paintings as well as his own style and abstract work. Marcel Duchamp, a French artist who became involved in both the Dadaist and Surrealist movements. He was also associated with Cubism. Here are some Surrealist artworks. The Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali. Perhaps the most famous of all the great Surrealist paintings, The Persistence of Memory is known for the melting watches as well as the clarity of the art. The painting gives you the sense that you are dreaming and that time is irrelevant. The Son of Man by Rene Magritte. The Son of Man is a self-portrait of Rene Magritte. However, we can't see his face as it's covered by an apple. The painting shows a man in a bowler hat standing in front of a wall by the ocean. The sky is cloudy, and oddly enough, the man's face is obscured by the apple. If you look closely enough, though, you can see the man's eyes, so perhaps he can see you. The Song of Love by Giorgio de Chirico. This painting is one of the earliest examples of Surrealist art. It was painted by de Chirico in 1914, before the movement really began. It combines a number of unrelated objects such as the green ball, giant rubber glove, and the head of a Greek statue. De Chirico was trying to explain his feelings for the ridiculousness of World War I through his painting. Swans Reflecting Elephants is a painting by the Spanish surrealist Salvador Dali. This painting is from Dali's paranoiac critical period. Painted using oil on canvas, it contains one of Dali's famous double images. Surrealist films. Man Ray made the first surrealist film, Return to Reason, in 1923. Louis Buñuel and Dali made two well-known surrealist films, Un Chien Andalou, 1929, and L'Age d'Or, 1930. Jean Cocteau made 3 films known as the Orphic Trilogy: Le Sang d'un Poète in 1930, Orphée in 1950, and Testament of Orpheus in 1960, which includes a cameo appearance by Pablo Picasso. Thanks for watching this Adventurous Kids episode.
What did you learn today?
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous Kids!
What was the most interesting fact?
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous